Good morning, students. Hope you are safe and fine at home. I hope you are keeping in good health and watching all the videos regularly. So students, I hope you have seen all the previous videos. Now we'll come to the concluding part of this chapter, that is eclipse. Okay students, this part speaks to us about the eclipse. Now we have two types of eclipses. Let us first see what is an eclipse. Already you know we get light from the sun and moon. Okay, sun is the star from which we get maximum heat and light. Okay, but we also get light from the moon at night. Okay, but moon is illuminated or it gets light from the sun. But sun is a star which is self-illuminated. We have drawn diagrams of these things in the previous videos and you already know it. Self-illuminated means, the meaning also we saw in the previous videos. It has its own light and heat. Now, sun is self-illuminated, okay, and it shines very brightly. It gives us heat and light due to which living organisms exist in this world. But the moon is illuminated with the light of the sun. Moon gets its light from the sun. Okay. So what happens? The illumined part is seen on earth on different days. Specific days for each part of the year. Okay. The illumined part of the sun, that is the part which is lightened up. The illumined part is seen. Illumined part is seen on earth on different days. An occasion when the moon or the sun seem to be completely or partially disappearing. Okay, an occasion or event in which we can see that the moon or the sun seem to be completely or partially disappearing because one of them is passing between the other and the earth. In such situations, it is known as an eclipse. Okay, students? First, let's change the spelling there. There is a mistake in textbook on page number 56, the third line. Partially. The spelling is P-A-R-T-I-A-L-L-Y. Okay, students? Hope so you have changed the spelling there. Okay. We'll do the definition of eclipse. What is an eclipse? An occasion or event in which what happens? The sun or the moon. The sun or the moon. Okay. Seem to be completely or partially. Partially means in a half manner. Okay, not fully. Partially or completely, fully. Disappearing. Why? Because one of them is passing between the other. One of them, any one of them, is passing between the other. And the earth. Our planet Earth is in connection with this. This is known as eclipse. This situation is known as eclipse. So, the earth is the focal point here. The focus in which what happens? The moon or the sun seem to be completely or partially disappearing because either the moon or the sun, any one of them, is passing between the other and the earth. Such a situation is known as an eclipse. So students, in geography we have two types of eclipses. Okay, we'll study both of them. First one is solar eclipse. Okay, the first one is solar eclipse. Now students, we already saw that in geography all the terms are approximate. Exactly nothing can be assumed. You only have to imagine things. But eclipse is a real fact. Okay, you can see an eclipse occurring on the earth. Okay, so eclipses are real facts. They are not imaginary. Okay, so first one is solar eclipse. Solar, already you know the meaning. The previous videos have seen. Sol means anything connected with the sun. Solar eclipse means connected with the sun. Now moon is very close to earth. Why? Because moon is the satellite of the earth. Moon is the satellite of the earth. So what happens? It revolves around the earth. You know that satellites revolve around the planets, around our planet Earth. The moon is revolving, and sometimes while revolving, it comes between the sun and the earth. Comes between sun and earth while revolving. And what happens at that time? The shadow of the moon constrains. The shadow of the moon, what happens? It constrains. Is blocked. Okay. Constrains is blocked and sun is not visible. It constrains the whole area. The shadow of the moon is forcefully blocking the sunlight to come to the earth. The sun is not visible at all. And this event is known as solar eclipse. Understood, students? I repeat, moon revolves around the earth because the planet Earth has one satellite moon. You already saw in the previous videos. And while revolving, what happens? The moon comes between the sun and the earth. And at that time, the shadow of the moon constrains, blocks the light of the sun. Sun is not visible at all. This event is called solar eclipse. At that time, the moon is, and you already know that the moon is very small compared to the sun. Sun is a very huge star. Moon is very small, so it cannot cover the whole sun. So the solar eclipse cannot be seen all over the world altogether. You can only see in some parts of the world. Everywhere you cannot see the solar eclipse at one time. Only in different parts or in some parts of the world you can see the solar eclipse. Now, solar eclipse occurs on no moon day. On which moon day, students? On no moon day. But not on every no moon day. On every no moon day you will not see the solar eclipse. Only on specific no moon days you will have this solar eclipse. So students, you have to draw this figure along with me. Solar eclipse at right figure 3.1. Okay, the series of 1 and series of 2 figures we have done. Now we'll start figure 3 series. Okay, figure 3.1. The figure of solar eclipse you have to draw in the notebooks along with me with your pencils. Okay, labeling should also be done with your pencils. So students, first you draw the sun, shade in this manner, and then write sun over here, and a little bit distance from it. Keep some distance and write earth over here. Just like a square, you draw the earth and write earth. Okay. Now students, we saw the term solar eclipse. What is it? What happens? Moon is close to the earth. So first, just beside the earth, nearby to the earth and far away from the sun, you draw the moon. Okay, students, you draw the moon and you will not write it inside the circular form because there is no space there. You put an arrow here and write moon. Okay, students, write moon over here. Written. Now you have to show the solar eclipse. How will you show? First, what is the concept over here? Sometimes while the moon is revolving around the earth, what happens? It comes between the sun and the earth. So what happens? The rays of the sun. See, I draw it in this way. First draw this line over here, the horizontal line drawn. Okay? Draw it in this manner. Draw it like this. We are showing the ray of the sun here. Again, draw it properly, students, in the slanting position of draw. Okay? After drawing it, again this side, you draw this line over here. Okay, students? Drawn. Complete this line like this. Okay, students? Now what is the concept? As the moon is very small in size compared to the sun, what happens? It is not able to cover the whole sun. This big star, this huge star, sun is not able to cover it. So what happens? The part where this eclipse happens is shown, is visible. Where is it visible? Where the constraint of the moon is there. That is, it blocking the light of the sun. The sun is not at all visible. It is blocking. The constraint of the moon is seen there. It is blocking the light, the rays of the sun over that area of the earth. And I told you, everywhere of the earth, simultaneously you can't see the solar eclipse. Only in different parts of the earth you can see. So students, what happens? This area where you are having this much position here, you will shade it with your pencils. This is the area where it is blocking the sun rays. See, here the sun rays are falling the sun, but it is being blocked by the moon. Why? Because it is coming between the earth and the sun. The sun rays are falling this way, which is doing right now, but it is blocked by the moon. Constraint of the moon is seen. So this area remains dark. Shaded in this one with the pencil, students. This area remains dark. There is no place to write over here. So put an arrow here and write here. This is the region where solar eclipse is visible. This is the region where solar eclipse is visible. Okay? Clear, students? in this earth, this whole area is dark actually. This whole area till here, it's dark. But here we have to show the wordings earth, so I've written over here, okay? This whole area is dark. It is being blocked by the moon, the earth and the sun. Between that we have the moon, and this whole area is dark. The sun rays are not reaching because of the constraint of the moon. Okay, students, draw on the figure. So this was your figure of solar eclipse. So students, will come to the second point. What is the second point, students? Lunar eclipse. First was solar eclipse. Second is lunar eclipse. Now students, wherever you get the word lunar, wherever you see this word lunar, it stands for the moon. In connection with the moon. Solar in connection with the sun. Lunar in connection with the moon. So what is lunar eclipse? Moon gets light from the sun. We already know that. Thus, if sun rays going towards the moon are obstructed by the earth. The solar eclipse, moon was the constraint. But in lunar eclipse, earth is the constraint. If it is obstructed by the earth, then that part of moon remains dark. In nutshell, if you say, that is in short, if you say, that much part of the earth's shadow falls on the moon, that part is not visible to us. That is called lunar eclipse. Okay, so what is lunar eclipse? Moon is getting light from the sun, but the sun rays going towards the moon are obstructed by the earth. Yes, very good. Here the constraint is the earth. Okay, obstructed by the earth, and what happens? That much part of the earth's shadow falls on the moon, and that part is not visible to us. That is known as lunar eclipse. Such an event occurs on full moon night. On which day? Full moon night. But not on every full moon night. Not on every full moon night. On specific full moon nights. So students, we'll just draw the diagram and it will be easy for you to understand more clearly. So students, are you ready with your notebooks for the diagram? Yes, good. We'll write here figure 3.2 lunar eclipse. Okay students, written the heading. Here, sun, you have to draw as usual. Then here the focal point. The focus is the moon. So label, put an arrow here and write moon. In the solar eclipse, the focal point was the earth. Here it's the moon. Okay. Now what happens? Earth is the constraint. It is the one obstructing. Okay. So what we will do? We will draw a little bit distance from the moon. Draw the earth here, farther from the sun, little bit distance from the moon. Write here earth. Written students. After writing it, we'll start the diagram. Now what happens here? The rays of the sun you draw first, okay? So how you draw? Start drawing. Draw in this way, starting position. Then we have your rays falling this side, students. Draw it in this way. So, after drawing this as the previous diagram you drew in the same way, again you will draw in this manner, falling of sun rays here. Okay, students, draw fast. Neatly you have to draw again the pencils. Again. Okay. Now, this is the constraint. Earth is the constraint. Okay. So, what happens here is, what we saw, the sun rays going towards the moon are obstructed by the earth. Sun rays going towards the moon. This is the star. Sun is a huge star. This gave light to the moon. They are obstructed, or the constraint is the earth. They are obstructed by the earth. There is an obstacle here. So what happens? That much part of earth's shadow falls on the moon. Okay. So that much part remains dark. See, shadow falls. So that much you will be shading with your pencil. Students, pencil shading is necessary here. Don't use color pencils. Don't use color pencils. Shade it like this. Okay. So this much part remains dark. Okay. So what happens? This is known as lunar eclipse. So which is the region? This is the region. This area. There's no space to write here. So you can put an arrow like this. V-shaped arrow and write region where lunar eclipse is visible. This is the area. Region where lunar eclipse is visible. Okay. So students, what did you understand here? In the previous diagram, solar eclipse, moon was the constraint, obstruction. Here, earth is the constraint. That is obstruction. So students, hope you have drawn both the diagrams very neatly in your notebook. Students, in all these videos, whichever diagrams I told you to draw along with me in your notebooks, you have to draw it compulsorily because they are very important for your chapter, and from the exam point of view, it's very important. I'll be asking the diagrams also. You have understood this chapter very clearly. Read your textbook thoroughly, students. Only then you will be able to understand the concept. Watch all my videos clearly, carefully, and I hope you have drawn all the figures which I have told you to draw along with me. Okay, students? And from page 47 to page 56, you have to read the lesson thoroughly. Okay, students?